My name is Dr. Ryan Denney, and I'm a licensed psychologist here at Connections. I'd like to talk a little bit about men and depression, because depression often presents itself differently in men than it does in women. Now, there are some common symptoms and signs of depression that everyone experiences, man or woman. For example, sadness, crying, hopelessness, feeling worthless and blue, socially withdrawing, not caring about anything, suicidal thoughts even. But in men, some common signs of depression can also be anger and chronic irritability, alcohol or substance abuse, aggressiveness, even arrogance or macho bravado can sometimes indicate a man feeling depressed or insecure. And so it's important that a man goes to a therapist who is well versed in men's issues and how depression and other issues present in men uniquely. Clinical experience has taught me that most men struggling with depression need help in certain areas, certain specific areas. First of these is that he usually needs help to become more assertive. Now, this may seem counterintuitive because a lot of men come to therapy because they have anger issues, right? But I'm not talking about aggression as much as being assertive, as learning to ask appropriately for what they need in life and in the relationships in their life, to get their needs met appropriately, and to stop people in their lives from violating their boundaries or treating them poorly, and to learn to do this in an assertive, appropriate way rather than by using anger and aggression. Another important masculine issue is increasing emotional intelligence. Men feel deeply. They feel deep emotions. They're not always sure how to express them or what to do with them when they rise. So men can learn to identify those core emotions, what causes them, and appropriate, effective ways to handle those emotions. And often men find therapy useful in helping them do that. Another thing that therapy can help men do is to deal with trauma. Many men have survived traumatic experiences, whether in childhood or adulthood, and I'm talking here about physical, even sexual abuse. However, it's far less socially acceptable or okay for a man to to openly at least discuss his trauma from his past life. And so it's important for a man to be given space and opportunity to talk about that in an environment that is non-judgmental, in which he doesn't feel shamed. Another important task for men who come to therapy is to understand their anger. Remember, I said that anger is often a sign in men, inordinate anger is a sign that they may be depressed. Men can learn to recognize their anger as a signal that something in their life is out of balance. It's like a red flag that goes up. And they can channel that energy, learn to channel that angry energy more adaptively, more appropriately. For example, using that energy to appropriately be assertive or get their needs met. Another important issue is to help the man foster his spirituality. Men are capable and very much in need of intense, meaningful spirituality much of the time, and helping a man access his reserves of faith and surrender to the divine is often a big part of his ultimate healing process. Another important issue is to help the man learn to take responsibility. In order to grow and heal, it's important for men to stop blaming other people for their sorrow and their pain, and to take responsibility for their own emotions, behavior, and decisions. Healing, and this is true for men and women, doesn't start until we take responsibility for our lives. Many men also need to deal with father issues. Many men need to forgive their father, either for what their dad did or what their dad failed to do. This may or may not mean having or building a better relationship with their dad now. Their father may or may not even be alive. But it refers to dealing with the emotional issues that come from their relationship with their dad. And so many people do have issues in relationship with their father and pain that they live with from that. Finally, it's very important for men struggling with depression in particular, to increase their connections, particularly their connections with other men. Now, women seem to be pretty good at this intuitively. They talk to each other, they're open about their feelings, they understand the idea of emotional intimacy and shared experiences. Men need the same thing. They just experience it and go about it in a bit of a different way. So what a woman would call a best friend or an intimate friend, a man might call a brother. So men need to learn how to create communities of brotherhood. It's very important for men struggling with depression or men looking for therapy in any way to seek out a therapist who is competent in male issues and understands what a man needs in terms of his therapeutic process.